So Pam, I often have a reading toolkit where I gather things that are going to help me when I confer with kids, and I noticed you have this writing toolkit that you've been using with primary grade students. Can you show me some of these tools that you use when you're going to have a writing conference?
Absolutely. So I definitely have my own writing folder, and in the primary grades, just because the paper choice is so big, I have a writing folder for each text type. So I have a narrative writing folder, an opinion writing folder, and an information writing folder. And inside, I have a lot of my cheat sheets. So I have some checklists that students can use and student work samples that we can use. I sometimes have conferring cheat sheets for myself in case I get stuck in the moment and I don't know what to do.
What would be on the cheat sheet like that?
Like, if I see a student doing this, then I might say that.
Okay.
So just with typical things from my experience, I often see in my students at that grade level.
Mm-hmm.
I also try to fill it with lots of my own work samples. Not only does it show the students that I'm in it with them and I'm writing just the way that they're writing and we're all doing it together, but I like to show different strategies and have different levels of work for students.
Yeah.
And even just at the primary grades, different paper choices for how their booklets might look. So I have a simple one like this with very few words and a little bit of a book.
Oh, so this one is like my dolls, and it has a pattern, right? Or my
Yes.
Lego. Oh, so it's like all the different toys. And I'm guessing from this is like more kindergarten.
Yeah, so that would be
Yeah.
somebody who is more starting with their work.
Yeah.
So kindergarten, maybe somebody who might have be new to speaking English and just be getting down fewer words at the beginning. I also have some that are different strategies. So I have one that's a little bit more opinion-based on an issue that students might like. I have some that are multiple sentences for those who might be ready to push it. And the sentences have it. I also have different endings. So there might be an opinion ending, a question ending, a surprising ending, a kind of humorous or funny ending. And just kind of going through about the different ways that it could look so that students aren't stuck into thinking that all of our books need to look the same or be the same.
And you would use those, so like if you noticed a student is ready to add a second sentence, you would pull out the example that had the second sentence.
Yes.
Or a student always ends it the same way, you would show one of these other examples. So you're kind of like predicting what they might need in a conference, and then you have those at your fingertips.
Absolutely. And it just helps me feel a little bit more secure too as a teacher as I'm going around to all the students in my classroom who all have different needs. And it's also helpful because I could use it in mini lessons, I could use it in conferring, and I could use it in small group work. Something else I just like to travel with to make it like easy is definitely some mentor texts that have different strategies that currently go along with the type of writing that we're doing. So I have a lot of different mentor texts here that I often mark up and that show the different strategies. I also have just general things like Post-its of different sizes, markers, pencils, things like that, that just make my work a little bit easier and to help me feel prepared for each of the conversations I might have with my students.
Wow. So it's almost like you have like your traveling tools.
Yes.
So that's the toolkit, right?
Yes.
And so you have your own folder for each text type with different writing samples. You have little like strategy menu cheat sheets for yourself so that when you're in a conference and you don't know what to teach, you have something to look back at.
Absolutely.
And it probably helps, even if you don't look at it in the moment, just the creation of that tool probably helps you.
Get ready
Yeah.
for what I'm going to be teaching probably
Yeah.
over the next few weeks, definitely so.
Absolutely. And then you have some mentor texts as examples, you have some supplies, and it also seems like you have your folder that mirrors and your paper that mirrors the kids. So that also is probably really helpful for kids. Is look, my teacher's a writer too. She has a folder that's all decorated like mine. She has paper that looks like mine.
And I can also keep my notes from conferring right here and have it be lightweight so it's not something too bulky to travel with. So if I want to take notes on my observations of students, I could do that right here with my work.
Wow. So I'm sure this was a lot of work. Can you just talk a little bit about like how did you come up with all of these and what that process was like?
Well, I like to get started with my writing folders right around the same time as the students. And as far as the mentor texts go, I find that to be a lot of fun, and I often get inspired by the students in my classroom. So I might have one or two work samples at the beginning of a unit, and then it tends to grow once I get inspired by the students in my class and see what kind of work they're doing.
So as a teacher, I don't need to have all of this up front. I can be kind of going along with them, like maybe a day or two, or even like where they are.
Absolutely.
That feels a lot more manageable.
Yes.
Great. Thanks, Pam. I can't wait to see that.